Hello everybody and welcome back to How to Grow Your Brand. I'm Stacy-Ann, and in this lecture we're going to be talking about how to grow your Twitter following. Of course, you got Facebook kind of reigns supreme, and you got other big social media sites not too far behind like Instagram. Now Snapchat is huge, just a bunch. But Twitter is still one of the top dogs in the social media world. Now, I opened up my Twitter account in 2011, and by 2016 I had like less than 2,000. I know, that's like really sad considering I work in TV and a huge part of my job has to do with social media, and I saw no growth. Thing is, I'm like, wait a second, how's she at 50,000 or he's at 100,000? Where am I at? Nowhere. And it's not to say that I'm like all caught up with what other people are doing. It's just that I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at what's going on here and how social media has evolved and where I started, how long it's been, and where I was at that point. And I was like, something is wrong. I got to make changes. So that's what led me to develop a new technique, if you will. So I changed things around a little bit and I developed a system, and within a month I saw my Twitter followers jump 500. That's huge. That's a big improvement. I mean, considering where I was at. So it continues to grow and grow because I've developed a new style, a new technique, and I wanted to share a little bit of that with you in this lecture. So without further ado, here is how to grow your Twitter following. Okay, everybody. Hey, I'm Stacy-Ann, and welcome to How to Grow Your Twitter Following. As I mentioned previously, I started my Twitter account back in like 2011 and really didn't see much growth after about 5 years or so. I mean, I stayed pretty much between the 1 to 2,000 range. I know it's pretty sad, but I just needed to change things up a little bit. I added and just implemented a few different strategies that's worked over the years, or shouldn't say over the years, but over the last, I'd say, few months. It took a few months for me to really see a change. Now, before we get started, I want to share tips with you, but I want to also show you my analytics, just to kind of give you an idea of where I was to where I pretty much ended in 2016. Now, over the course of about 30 days or so, look how much my following spiked. This is all because I implemented a few different things. Now, I didn't purchase any fake followers or anything like that. It wasn't anything that I did, of course, illegally or whatnot. I didn't purchase anything. It was just a few things that I did differently. For the most part, went from inactive to pretty active on Twitter, but it wasn't random. It was very strategic. And with that said, I want to go over a few tips with you. We got 9 tips, and then we're going to get into some marketing tools that I find to be helpful. Now, here is another very useful site that I also refer to here and there, and this is TwitterAudit.com. If you don't know this site, you should definitely get to know it. Why? Well, because it gives you an idea of how many real versus fake followers you have. Now, let me just say this. Everyone to some degree has some fake followers. They're like bots. Can't really avoid them too much. But what you can do is you find them, you block them, you keep your ratio more on the real side. So right now I'm at around 93%, 39, no, 93%, and which is good. I have about 501 fake followers. The rest are real. I was surprised to see a lot of well-respected bloggers that I always followed and knew, and also companies, brands, and whatnot. Some of them, they have more fake followers than I would have ever, or probably they could have ever imagined. I don't know how that happened, but it does happen. So go to TwitterAudit.com, type in your handle. Just make sure you're real versus fake. You want to be more on the real side. I say over 80% is what you should be shooting for, but that's just my personal opinion. All right, so we're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about 9 steps to grow your Twitter following. Now, I'm sure that everybody you meet may have a different strategy, but this is what helped me. I mean, I more than doubled my following after I implemented these steps. Also going to talk about 6 marketing tools that I found to be very, very helpful. Now, tip number 1, gotta upload a profile picture of yourself. I know it's hard to find a really good one. It's hard to take a really good one. But with all these smartphones nowadays, make it so easy for you to take a selfie. It should reflect who you are and what you're about. And this is who I am and what I'm about. I mean, I'm a person, I like to smile a lot. I think it reflects who I am. You could see my personality through this photo. Your photo should also be clear and, sharp. Use great colors. You don't want to have any distracting background. Nothing that will distract attention off of your face. And most importantly, do not have an egg as your headshot. I know a lot of people do that, my husband included. For some reason, he does not want to add a profile picture. Don't know why. But it kind of looks bot-like, if you will. So it's a good idea just to have a picture of yourself. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. You don't have to go out and get it professionally done. You can just snap a quick selfie or get someone to take a picture of you. All right, number 2, make sure your bio is on point. It's up to date. Keep it simple. You don't have to go through a whole dissertation because we don't have room for all of that. You know how Twitter is. Limited characters. So stick with keywords in your bio. You only have a limited amount of characters, so you have to use them wisely. The great thing is that you don't even need to use hashtags. As a matter of fact, I'm against hashtags in bios. If you're putting a tweet or something, if you're writing a tweet and you want to include a hashtag healthy eating or something like that, that's fine. But in your bio, it's kind of distracting, and I don't think it helps in terms of search terms per se. You want to just stick with keywords, and I think that's enough. Plus, you want to save as many characters as you possibly can. And another thing that I see happen sometimes is that people tend to write these long sentences. So here's an example. I'm a reporter who's passionate about every story I cover. I also blog in my spare time and enjoy long walks in the park with my family. That sounds nice. It actually does. I mean, it reads kind of like an essay or, novel, a book or something. But, for Twitter, you don't have to go through all of that. Just stick with those keywords: raising biracial children, parenting tips, curly hair tutorials, healthy eating, or healthy recipes in this case. Now, this is just an example of, this is kind of what mine looks like right now. But I find that people come across my profile based on these keywords. I meet up with other moms and dads who are raising biracial children. I share parenting tips, and I meet just other parents in general, and we do a lot of naturally curly hairstyles and whatnot. So I also meet a lot of people within the natural hair community. And of course, healthy eating, opens me up to different food bloggers. We share ideas and things like that. Number 3, include a link to your website on your Twitter profile. And this is one of the greatest things you can do, because when people do find you on Twitter, then they find your website. And this drives traffic right back to your website. And on the flip side, you should also add your Twitter button and your other social media sites for that matter. You want to add those to your website as well. So here is what my website looks like. And notice I have a connect with me right here with all of my social media icons. So from Facebook to Google+, I got Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, Vimeo, and so on and so forth. Even my YouTube is up there too. And I find that people will connect with me on Twitter, they'll connect with me on YouTube, and all my other social media sites. So make it easy for people to see you and come across your profile. So once you have that Twitter set up, or if you already have it, just look to make sure that if you do have a website, have it linked via your Twitter. Number 5, share other people's content. I cannot say this enough. Now, yeah, I share my own stuff, and I've always shared blog posts that I've written, but I also like to share other people's content because if you show love, you'll get love back. That's just what that is. And if you're just sharing valuable content, people are going to open up to that and they're going to want to follow you. So don't be selfish and tweet your own stuff. If you share other people's content, they may also return the favor, and it also opens you up to a broader audience. Another great useful thing is to include a pinned tweet. That's my tip number 6. Here's an example. Now, I decided to write an ebook a while ago just to share some potty training tips and whatnot. And it was pretty easy to write the ebook about it. I said, you know what, let me do a blog post about how to write an ebook. And I added that pinned tweet and just saw the numbers grow. I got a lot of blog traffic from that. Also got a lot of Twitter followers from that. So adding a pinned tweet to your latest project or blog post is a great way to get noticed. And if you share tips and tricks or just an amazing recipe idea or some kind of idea that you have, just pin it to the top and you can just watch your Twitter following grow. Because once people come across your site based off of your bio, your picture, and that's one of the first things they see, oh my gosh, it's great. They'll want to click that follow button. Number 7, tweet on a regular basis. I was so guilty of this. Like, I probably tweet like once for the week and think that was enough. Just remember that Twitter has this thing where it's constantly going, so the notifications are constantly rolling. So think about it this way. After about 15 minutes or so, probably even less, your tweet is already stale. Probably should be tweeting maybe once every 15 minutes or something, so you figure like 4 tweets in an hour. And you're probably thinking like, how am I supposed to do this? But there are ways. There are ways to schedule them. You can manually do it, of course, but there are other ways to schedule your tweets. But do it on a regular basis and do what feels comfortable for you. So according to Forbes, studies have shown that the more you tweet, the more followers you're likely to have. Users who have written under 1,000 tweets typically have fewer than 100 followers. And I think that's why I was stuck for so long, because I wasn't tweeting enough. While those who have tweeted more than 10,000 times usually have followings between 1,000 and 5,000. So you get my drift? The more you tweet, the more chances that you have for people to follow you. Tip number 8, follow people who are relevant to your niche. Now, I like to blog about healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, my multiracial family, naturally curly hair. I do fun tutorials. I even blog about science stuff. I have a lifestyle blog, so there are many components that make up my blog. And I like to reach out to different people who are similar to some of the things I blog about. And that's how I've been able to grow my following. So if you're a food blogger, for instance, follow other food bloggers. Chances are they'll follow you back, and their followers may follow you as well. So that's how it works. And this one is actually a biggie. Go live. They even have a hashtag Go Live for Periscope. And you can actually scope from Twitter now, which is absolutely convenient. I found that when Periscope came out and I started scoping, I saw my numbers, my Twitter followers, they were getting up there. And I didn't know at first like why I was getting all these followers in the beginning. And then after researching and realizing that a lot of the people that began following me found me on Periscope. So if you were to actually try that out, now, you know, it's all about going live now. Facebook Live, now Instagram, you can go live. There's even Snapchat where video is king now. They have all these different ways of going live, even through Google Hangouts still and YouTube. But the reason why Periscope is important because of the affiliation with Twitter. So if you're going live on Periscope, through Twitter especially, your live feed will show up and it will open you up to a wider audience as well. So if you do a scope, for instance, about 5 ways to live a better or healthier lifestyle, someone may say, hey, I like this person. Let me follow that person. Marketing tools are the way to go to grow your Twitter following. Now, there are a bunch, but I'm just going to talk about a few that I know and have used along the way. There's commune.it. This tool helps you track all major interactions in your Twitter community so that you can grow your brand and build relationships online. It offers premium memberships and it also offers free memberships. Under the free one, you can only add 4 items to monitor, but the premium version, you can have a wider range of social media metrics to monitor, including key phrases, shared URL links, and hashtags. And it's very easy to use. I like this because there's a lot of automation in there, but it does make it easier. It gives you a way to thank your new followers. You could also reply to mentions that you've had on Twitter. You can retweet people through here. It does break it all down for you, so you can see how many followers you've gotten over the course of the time and how much you've lost. Also tracks the amount of tweets that you've done. So it's a great, easy marketing tool that I find helpful. Now here's another one. HootSuite. It allows you to monitor different streams at the same time. For example, with Twitter, you can add mentions, lists, favorites, hashtags, keywords, home feed, and so on and so forth. You can respond to mentions within the platform in addition to auto scheduling, and you can do it at any time of the day. So that's so convenient. So that brings me back to my point. And the more you tweet, the more likely you are to have people follow you. All right, so taking a look at HootSuite, this is how it's set up. This is something that I used for work early on. And it was just super convenient because when I'm on set, I don't really have the time to go back and forth. So I like to have everything kind of on one page. So I'll add my Facebook and my Twitter. I'll add all the different streams, my mentions, my retweets. If we're using a hashtag for the day, I'm able to have a hashtag as well. So if we're in storm mode and we have Storm 2016 or Blizzard 2017 or something like that, and viewers want to send pictures in, it's easy to just grab them and see them once they come in. So, I mean, you can kind of do the same thing with your website or your Twitter account as well. If you have multiple streams that you want to include in addition to scheduling, you can definitely do that. So Buffer, one of my favorites. Now this marketing tool, it's pretty easy to use. I just love the fact that it's so user-friendly. You can schedule your tweets, you could check your analytics, you can add your RSS feed from blogs. There's so many other marketing tools too, like Post Planner, Crowdfire, TweetDeck, that I'm just going to get into as well real quick. Every tool is free, but there's also a paid version, so you'll have to do your research to figure out which one's right for you. Now here's what Buffer looks like. Notice they have content up here. I can hit this and I'll be able to just share my blog post or whatever content I'm sharing, if it's a picture, whatever the case is. And I can check my analytics, I can do my scheduling, and of course they have settings. And again, you can add as many accounts as you want to, but I use this specifically for Twitter because I want to keep my Twitter kind of up to speed, up to date with everything. The one thing that I really love about Buffer is that you can rebuffer as well. So you can itemize and take your most popular posts and rebuffer that. Like say I did something with my son, what my preschooler learned from Thomas and Friends. It was a quick video, and if it's very popular, I can rebuffer it over and over and over again, especially if it does well. And then you can kind of take a look at your least popular posts and kind of figure out what's working, what's not working. So it kind of helps you out in more ways than one. Now, Post Planner, this is a great one. What I like about Post Planner is that it takes you away from the traditional post of, let me share my blog post. You can share quotes that are engaging, funny, interesting. You can do photos, all kinds of stuff with this. You can kind of see it here. So these are quotes. They have engaging stuff that you can tweet as well, and you could time it all out. And they have other ideas and things like that that you could take advantage of, in addition to posting your own material. So definitely, I saw a big jump, a big spike just from Post Planner. Now, Crowdfire, I just have the app on my phone. It's a great way to just follow how many followers you have, how many unfollowers you have, people who are inactive followers. At the end of 2016, I remember using this app to kind of clean out. I was kind of cleaning house a little bit. Things were just getting so cluttered, so I wanted to declutter, so to speak, and I was able to do it via this app, and it just made it so much easier. So you can follow and unfollow folks with this particular app and see who's either followed or unfollowed you as well. TweetDeck, this is probably the first one that I ever used, and I mainly used it for work. I'm not a huge fan of it that much anymore. It kind of works like HootSuite. I mean, it's okay, but I think there are a bunch of others, especially when you have stuff like Post Planner and Buffer, where it's like really user friendly. You have so many options. But TweetDeck is really simple. Again, it tracks your activity, your notifications. You could put up multiple streams, just like you would with HootSuite. So definitely read about it, check it out, see if it's something that you like. At the end of the day, people, you just have to find what works for you. I went through a bunch of different marketing tools. Right now I stick to like Post Planner, Buffer. Those are my two favorites, and it's been working for me, as well as keeping up with the tweeting and being on Periscope. Whenever I can do a scope, I'll do that as well, and I see a big growth, and I have seen a growth over the course of the last few months or so. Well, that pretty much wraps up how to grow your Twitter following. If there's anything that I didn't cover, or if you have any additional questions, feel free to hit me up. You can email me at Stacy-Ann@weatheranchormama.com. You can also find me on Twitter. Be sure to follow me at Weather Anchor Ma. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, Weather Anchor Mama. So thanks again, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.